Hello everyone, I'm Ryan with Retro Gaming Replay. In this video, I'm going to show you how I replace character sprites in Streets of Rage 2. If you didn't know already, we're working on a ROM hack called Sesame Streets of Rage, where we plan to replace the four main characters with Sesame Street characters, as well as replace the enemies, including bosses, with children's TV and cartoon characters. The tools I'll be using in this video are Pancake 2 and Gimp image manipulation program. Links for these will be in the description. Towards the end of the video, I'm also going to touch on how to change text in-game using a program called Hexecute. Pancake 2 and Hexecute can both be found at romhacking.net. So Pancake 2 would be a character model editor. Let's click on that. Gsaurus was the one who authored this tool. The second utility from romhacking.net is called Hexecute, and its author is MDW. This one actually has been out for quite a few years. I'm not sure about this one, Pancake 2, but I do know that Hexecute is one that I've been using for a very long time. Yeah, 2002. 20 years. And it still works very well. So let's start out by first downloading Pancake 2. And what I did was I made a folder on my desktop and I called it Streets of Rage Hacking. And I just put the character editor folder here with Pancake 2 inside. Now, opening Pancake 2, you'll be given an empty screen, kind of like this, just you won't see the characters in it, to which you just hit Open ROM. And I made a backup, so just in case I make a mistake, I have the original to work with, or I can take the backup one out of my folder, because every time I make an edit and I'm done working on it, I will drag a copy into the backup folder. So you open up your file, and you'll be able to go through, and these would be, say, the original character models. And these would be the ones that I've replaced already. The one that is complete right now is Elmo. I'm currently working on Cookie Monster. I've gone through quite a few of them, but some of them still need to be replaced. Now, what I started out by doing is, if you aren't very good at drawing like me, you can find sprite sheets. Now, this one I found at DeviantArt, made by XMSB, and I made sure that I got their permission to use this, because in all fairness, it is theirs. So I downloaded this character sheet, I opened it in Gimp, and first I converted the background color into alpha by using colors, color to alpha. And what you do is I took the dropper and picked up the background color, and it cleared all of it out. So this way it makes it easier to select the sprites and just the sprites. And from here you can just pick which ones you want. You can manipulate them however you want. There were quite a few in here that I had to change around to suit what I was trying to do. Such as this one. If you notice, his pupils are missing because I was trying to make it so he was facing away from the screen. Again, I'm not an artist. And that one is right here. I just removed the eyes and the mouth. That's where you got this. Okay, so there's quite a few ways you can go about this. You can either just use the in-game editor. Again, if you're good at drawing, you can pixelated characters and whatnot, you can go ahead and use the tools that are built in here to change anything you like with the palette set. They also allow you to change the hit frame, which, let's go to one. It doesn't have a hit frame. Third punch. There we go. So this right here would be where the hit is going to be made on the enemy that you're, well, in this case, punching. Now you can move this around, but I would suggest not keeping it too close to your character, otherwise it may not land a hit. I found that out the hard way. You want to give this just enough room so it's, you know, kind of center of the enemy's sprite. Just try and kind of picture how it would look in game, and you don't have to be exact, just as precise as you possibly can. You can choose damage. You can choose which sound, which you'll hear in game if you try it out. Now you can either replace from an image, which I really don't suggest. Reason being is because this gray area is defined by whichever character model is in here. So this is all it's going to show, and if there's anything that overlaps it, it won't be shown in game. What I say to do, or rather, what I suggest you do is generate from image. This way, the gray area will be generated around the image. So if you take a look here, you see that it surrounds just Axel's image. And just like right here, where it surrounds Cookie Monster's image. Now if I were to take this and try and put it here, you figure it's kind of like a giant rectangle. It would only show about this much of Cookie Monster, and it would look ridiculous. So after you bring it in, you can also drag the sprite to whichever spot you want it to be. And there have been times where I've had to touch up the character a few times with either pencil or brush. It just depends on how much you need to change. Paint bucket is just like flood fill. Just dumps one color in one area. I mean, I'm sure everyone knew that. There's also a weapon point, which you see the weapon right here, and you see as I move this, the coordinates change. You can also come up here and go into properties and change the character's name, which I'm changing this to a Y because Cookie with an I just didn't seem right. And you only get 5 characters to work with. And you'll see over here, Elmo. Now this won't change it in the actual character select menu, this will only change it in the little box that shows above where your health is. And next to your character's little picture, it's going to say Elmo rather than Max. Okay, so for the next part of the video, we're going to talk about using Hexecute to edit the text that is displayed in-game. Okay, so we're going to open our ROM, and you can notice the header information right here, but we're going to go up here and do find. Now some of these games have the text kind of hidden because they don't use the same character set as, say, ASCII or Unicode. So what we do is we do a search relative, and it just kind of looks for patterns based on what you put in. So my suggestion is to start the game, and when you come across any in-game text, in this case it starts off with the 2 words 1 year, because it talks about 1 year after the events of Streets of Rage 1, and you just search for it in here. In-game it's in all caps, so that's how I'm going to search for it. And there it is. Now, what I suggest is you take a character, you could even start with A right here, and you see that A is 41. And you label out an entire table right here that tells you what character is what. Now, there are programs that will make table files that you can import into here. Right here, open table. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to show you as basic as I possibly can. So, say you started with A. You can even just jump ahead to the middle of the alphabet, M. Is there an M in here? Yes, right here. So M should be 4D, and M is 4D. There you go. Now you know what character is what. Now you can also search spaces, in which case this space is 20, and you know what that is now. And just as a test, we can go ahead and or you can go over here and modify the value itself. Like I can change this to an A, or I can go back and change it to a space. Either way works. Let's go ahead and save this. Now this next part, because we changed something inside the game, the checksum value is going to be wrong. So when the game starts up, it checks a checksum value to make sure that it's not a corrupt ROM. Luckily, Kega Fusion, which is the emulator I've been using, has a fix for this. Right up here in Options, Set Config, go over to Genesis, and just check Autofix Checksums. And when this ROM loads, you'll see in the bottom right hand corner, it'll say Checksum Fixed. Now once it loads, when it starts telling the story of the game, we should see, "Hello world." And there we go. Let's start the game and see some gameplay. Okay, so now bear in mind this is only one game. RomHacking.net has a lot of utilities, both game specific and system specific, or even just basic things like hex editors. If you wanted to work on Super Mario World, for instance, you could use Lunar Magic, which is a very powerful tool for game modification for that game. If you haven't yet, if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't already. We've got plenty of other tutorial videos, long plays, and we also have a contest going, a couple contests. One of which is one about which Link from which Legend of Zelda had the hardest journey, and that rewards the winner with a sealed copy of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for 3DS. And we also have another contest where you play through the Casino Night Zone in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, scoring the least amount of points possible. And the winner of that will get a complete in-box copy of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Well, thank you for joining us today, and if you have any questions, leave your questions in the comments below. If you'd like another video like this, or want me to try and work on something else, just let us know, and thanks, and have a good one.